What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are reviewing a 2022 Audi RS6 Avant. This is a car I've been curious about for so long. I've always been a sucker for fast wagons, and the RS6 seems to be one of the most desirable fast wagons on sale today. This being a 2022 model does not have the performance package that the 2024 offers, so we're powered by a 4-liter twin turbocharged V8 that makes 591 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque, and a host of technological systems that all need to work together very seamlessly to make this car not drive like a total disaster. For example, this has variable ratio steering that can adjust the quickness of the steering ratio on the fly. The Quattro all-wheel drive system can send most of the engine power to the front axle or to the rear axle, and when it gets sent to the rear, there's a LSD that can then split that torque between the left and right sides. We also have torque vectoring using the brakes at all 4 corners, and the owner Damien optioned this car out with the DRC, or dynamic ride control. It replaces the default air suspension with a more mechanical suspension setup, and this has rear wheel steering. And this car weighs just under 5,000 pounds. The actual curb weight, I believe, is 4,980 something pounds. So I'm curious to see if all the fancy systems in this car actually make a difference and make this car drive a lot lighter than it actually is. Paired to this 4-liter twin turbocharged V8, we have this 8-speed ZF automatic transmission. I've tried this transmission many times and it works great in all of the BMW applications as well as the Toyota Supra. We'll see if it feels any different in this RS6. Current market value for this car, a used RS6 from the 2021 to 2022 model year, should be right around $100,000. So is it a car worth buying? If you're looking for a very practical and spacious daily driver with actually the same cargo capacity as an Audi Q8 SUV while offering a lower stance, better driving dynamics, and supposedly more performance, is the RS6 Avant worth the money? That's what we're going to try to answer. This interior, by the way, is exquisite. I love Audi's design language. I mean, say what you will about having only touchscreens and no more physical controls, but the way they've made this look and feel is fantastic. It moves away from that tablet stuck on the dash sort of feeling that a lot of other manufacturers have moved to nowadays. This is much better integrated. So as for drive modes, we are going to use Drive Select, RS1 mode to start, which is Damien's customized setting where he has everything in sport but suspension in the middle setting, which is balanced. We can adjust drive, which is the throttle response, suspension, steering, engine sound. The loudest engine sound is called present. And then we have the Quattro with sport differential. So everything's maxed out except suspension and balanced. One thing I love is that there's a little compartment between the cup holders that specifically fits your key, so it's not just flying around. All right, 5,000 pound V8 wagon with right around 600 horsepower. Let's see how it feels. Into manual mode, first gear, here we go. Holy, forgot to mention we have massive 17-inch carbon ceramic rotors and 22-inch wheels. The biggest rotors and wheels I've seen on any car ever. Oh my God, this thing is so fast. Down into second, a little bit of a delay on that downshift. Oh my God. This Quattro all-wheel drive system is sensational. It's sensational at making the car feel very poised. It's very confidence inspiring. Oh wow, this car is way too quick for this kind of road. Can barely go full throttle. The steering, even in sport mode, is completely lifeless. It's very light, no feedback about what's happening on the road, but it is surprisingly precise for such a heavy vehicle. The brakes actually feel quite natural. The throttle response is good for a turbocharged V8. This actually has a 48 volt mild hybrid system as well. Let's put this over into RS2 mode now. the firmest suspension, maximum aggression for everything. Oh God, it's drama-free, just completely drama-free performance. It just puts the power down, and even the way this turns into a corner, you wouldn't know this weighs 5,000 pounds. And even in this stiffest suspension setting, it feels so unflappable. Oh. No need for second gear. We'll just keep it in third. This engine has so much low-end torque. Almost no hint of turbo lag, really. Down into third. The brakes feel good. That's a key thing if you want to get a 5,000 pound car stopped. Oh, wow. How is this car cornering so well, given it weighs so much? It's a mild understeer there. That's most of the tires, I think. Second gear, let's try it. You've got to be kidding me. This, at 5,000 pounds of curb weight, makes a lot of other vehicles I've driven, performance-focused vehicles that weigh considerably less, feel a lot heavier. I have to say, I was really skeptical going into this review, but all of those systems that Audi has developed, I mean, call it over-engineered if you want, and long-term maintenance is probably going to be a nightmare with these cars, especially outside of warranty. But right here, right now, from behind the wheel, I can tell you that all of those things going on in the background, I couldn't tell you what was going on without reading it off of an engineering document. If I just hopped into this car cold and started driving it, I would probably tell you it's a high 3,000 pound range and a big stinking V8. I mean, that's what it feels like. It feels so much lighter than it actually is. Does that mean it's perfect? Absolutely not. As I mentioned, the steering is pretty dead. It's not 100% lifeless. I'll give it that. I think for a 5,000 pound vehicle with an EPS rack, it actually does a little better than I expected. But I do wish this weighted up more in the corners. It just feels a little too light. Now the nice thing is I don't actually notice the variable ratio steering. It just feels natural. The brakes can be a little grabby at times, but when you're driving it hard, it feels really good. Lots of stopping power. Even in the most aggressive drive settings, this car rides beautifully, and yet it gives you that body control that you want mid-corner. Oh my God, that is absurd. The way this car puts the power down and the way it handles on a road that it has no business being on, it's phenomenal. I might just be in love with the Audi RS6 Avant, guys. This is truly even better than I expected. I thought it would be kind of like Audis of old, like the old B7 RS4 and other cars from that era that were just understeering pigs. This really does seem to defy the laws of physics. And for a non-EV car to do that, to make me feel this way, is definitely a very impressive accomplishment. A big thank you to Damien for letting me review this RS6 Avant. Let me know what you think about this car. Is it worth $100,000? Is it worth keeping long term, or is it one of those cars that you drive for a few years, you let the warranty expire, and then you pawn it off? Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.